Ask your doctor if Hope Zempic is right for you. Like 9 out of 10 doctors, Gabe, they recommend Hope Zempic for hopium. And I think we have a case here where we got Pistol Pete acquiring Cooper Kupp and Kyron Williams, and all he had to send away is that Brandon Aiyuk, a Devi 2025 second, and a Devi 2025 fifth. Gabe,
man,
what's happening here?
Pistol Pete, he held this man at gunpoint and highway robbed him in front of this league right now. That's what happened.
Yikes.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Welcome on in, everyone, to another edition of the All Gas Trade Show. My name's Ty at TyDeclare44. That's Gabe at iGabe_FF on X. And we have an amazing show for you tonight. Welcome in, Destination Debbie family. I guess DD football family, Gabe. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Getting, ready to get the weekend started, ready to get this show underway, and ready to talk some trades. Hopefully, the community is making it a little easier on us as the weeks go on, because man, it's been difficult the past couple of weeks, huh?
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm not really holding out much hope there. The people bring the heat all the time, and if you want to be part of that heat, patreon.com/allgas or ddfantasyfootball.com. Become a part of the community. Best place to be in fantasy. Get into the GOAT tier. You get access to the private pod feed. Where you have how many bonus shows, Gabe? About 14? No, like legitimately, there's the Instant Injury, the Dynasty Wire, Trinity shows, Manic and Chill, Bet and Sweat, Pole Position with me. Like, we got you a whole lineup back there. So head on in, let's chat about it. You can join the F1 chat, talk to me about that. You can DM Gabe, talk about, I don't know, Gabe, what?
Trade, talk about soccer, anything you want. I know Ty is a little lonely in the F1 channel because he's a population of 1 or 2 people. So
yeah, I am. Please
jump in there and help him out.
Please come talk to me. If you want to play games with me, head on over to Underdog. Use code ALLGAS, get 1,000 in bonus cash at sign up. And if you want into the Discord at a nice little price at the door, 50% off on the All Access Plus Discord tier, use code TRADES. If you want into the GOAT tier, use trade GOATs at sign up. Gabe,
man,
housekeeping's out of the way.
Yes, sir.
And now we're back to Pistol Pete's trade here. So again, 12 by 10 Superflex Devi lineup, PPR, 1.25 tight end premium. Picks are rookie and Devi second rounders. Also traded away Arch Manning and Cedric Baxter. Rich Manning, that's going to be a joke at some point, isn't it? But Cooper Kupp and Kyron Williams, some hammers for Brandon Aiyuk, who's not playing the rest of the year. 25 second and 25 fifth, which, if I'm reading that correctly, Devi players.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you did, Pistol Pete. You know what you did on this dirty man. No, in all seriousness, though, I mean, this is not close. I mean, this is incredible. Like, getting a type of return, for Brandon Aiyuk right now, this is like everybody's dream scenario, especially on a contending roster.
Kupp and Kyron, just have to give them both, right? For someone that's not playing, who is gonna be 28, logged onto the team. Like, I just don't see how this gets done. This is pretty good job there, Pistol Pete.
Oh yeah, man. I don't even know if we need to talk about that one.
No, Shafe99, patreon.com/allgas. My guy.
Hit up Ty in the Discord there. You can send him a trade question if you need it.
Yeah, maybe F1's your speed. Let's get into that. All right, let's start up here with an old Diaz trade, Gabe. Best ball. Come on, man. Come on, Diaz. Let's go. I'm gonna assume 12 by 10 best ball. Let's call it that. Okay.
Yep.
So Diaz gets into Hollywood Brown, Rashid Shaheed in a 2026 second, sends away Deontay Johnson and Michael Pittman. So, Gabe, I'm assuming if Diaz is taking on these zeros that he's punting the year. If you're a rebuilder, is this the kind of deal that you're looking to make?
Oh, man. This one's interesting because I really liked Shaheed and everything that he was doing over there in New Orleans. But now with the injury and, oh, man, this one's I don't know how I feel right now about Hollywood Brown, and I'll kind of jump back and forth for a second because Hollywood Brown, man, he's been known to be injury prone now at this point. I mean, he's been injured as long as I can remember, which may not be that long, but I know it's been a while. I know it's been a couple years that he's been injured. So I think for me, like I would probably say I kind of lean a little bit on the Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman side of this trade. I get what he's trying to do, right? Just trying to accumulate some assets that maybe you believe in the future. But Dio Johnson and Hollywood Brown, I mean, I'm going to take Deontay Johnson. And if you give me a second, I don't know. He's still got some time, right? He still has to get acclimated a little bit to the Baltimore offense. I don't want to write Deontay Johnson off just yet because when he was with Carolina, I mean, people were giving up seconds for him, left and right. And so I would probably say Hollywood Brown in a second for Deontay Johnson is probably pretty appropriate. Again, you got to give him a little bit of time, and then I want Pittman over Shaheed personally. So I think Joe Flacco can elevate Pittman a little bit. Again, Joe Flacco played awful, and I want to make sure I preface by saying that he was awful last week. But I do think it'll get a little bit better. I do think it'll get a little bit better for Pittman too. I mean, he's one of those guys that the community really does like. And I think if he does anything, I think people will really want to have a share of their Michael Pittman. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, on one side of the deal, you kind of have what we'll call like descending assets in 2025. On the other side, you have injured assets, right? So it's kind of an interesting deal. I mean, I've tried to move Deontay in a lot of spots, haven't had a lot of success. And like I said, it's probably not the time to, and should probably give him some leash to get acclimated. Like we've seen every receiver that's been traded this year, it's taken him 3-4 games to actually get it rolling. So is it a low volume pass offense? Yes, but hey, they passed a lot on Thursday. That offense looks good. Like if it's a part of it, sure. Like give me Deontay on these drag acrosses, right? And just we'll rack up some PPR points. Okay. And Pittman, yeah, I agree. I think Flacco actually kind of unlocks him, hopefully. But it sounds like he's not playing this weekend. So hope he gets healthy, comes back, and actually has like a good stretch run here.
Yep.
I mean, Shaheed was smashing too, right? Right before he hurt his knee. So I think that's a good 2025 and beyond play. And yeah, if you ask me like Deontay or Shaheed, I'll probably take Shaheed, especially if I'm not competing. I'll take Shaheed, right? Because people still like Shaheed. A 26-second betting against the team that I'm sending 2 producing assets to, okay. But I just don't think Hollywood Brown closes that gap enough for me to the Pittman side. Like, I just want nothing to do with Hollywood right now. He's nothing in these trade streets. Like, I've had zero. I don't know if you've had success moving him at all. I've had zero success.
I've had success moving him to the waiver wire. I mean, nobody's going to give you anything for Hollywood Brown. I mean, quite literally, I think I told you before, I think you could probably drop him, and I don't know if anybody would pick him up. Like, legitimately, nobody wants a part of him. I mean, people don't even want to spend fab on him right now because what are you going to do with him? I mean, nothing. And Kansas City is operating very well right now without him. And it doesn't look like they need him. They just got DeAndre Hopkins. They'll have Rashee Rice too next year. I mean, like, where does Hollywood Brown realistically fit? Like, is he on the team next year? Who knows? I like Shaheed. I do have a little bit of concerns with the Derek Carr situation because I don't know if Derek Carr is going to be there personally next year. He has played awful as of lately. I think they obviously just fired the head coach. I think if they bring in a new regime, I don't think they stick to Carr. And so at that point, I don't know what to expect from Shaheed because Carr was really the one that was kind of giving Shaheed the volume that we were looking at or that we were enjoying, if you will. And so, oh man, it's hard. I think Pittman's just kind of fallen a little bit with just the inconsistent quarterback play. I don't think it has anything to do with him personally. I think, again, Rich was not very good, and then Joe Flacco had a really bad game, and now he's injured. And so I do think there's a lot of positivity for Michael Pittman moving forward. I think this is kind of rock bottom. This is a good chance to buy him, and I'd be looking to actively buy him if I could, especially for a price like this.
Yeah. And like on Diaz's side, like if that moves your pick from 105 to 103 or 102, like I see why you would do that. There's probably some more juice to squeeze on this one though. There's a cost to acquiring zeros in best ball. And while it can help you, it doesn't mean that doesn't come without a price. This feels like a pretty nice bailout. Like if I'm competing, I can move off 2 injured assets in a 26-second, get into 2 weekly starters.
Especially in a best ball league. I mean, these guys can smash any given week.
Yeah. And I mean, now maybe this is not best ball. Maybe it's lineup. Even if that's the case, like I feel a bit better about it, but yeah, just I don't know.
Yeah. Did he not say best ball at the top? I thought
Well, it says this for like the DTR and 9 fab trade for Zach Moss, which is like good for you. But it was assuming this one, so I don't know.
Got it. Okay.
All good. I mean, he also moved Dak Prescott for my boy Sam Darnold there, Gabe. How do you feel about that in a 12-by-11 super flex PPR?
I mean, hey, honestly, I hate to say it. I like Dak. I am a Dak believer, if you will. But I mean, at this point, I think I saw he was going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, maybe
4 weeks, 6 weeks, whole season. We don't know. But
I mean, at this point,
great.
he's gone for 2024 for fantasy football purposes, and I doubt the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. So he's pretty much done for this year. And so with that being said, I mean, we say it all the time right now. We're in point scoring season. Like, I want points on my roster, and if I have to move off Dak, so be it. And if I can get into Sam Darnold, who has been producing very, very well, I think he might even be producing better than what Dak was whenever he was playing. So at that point, yeah, just give me Sam Darnold, and I'll roll with Sam Darnold and see where that goes.
Yep. Diaz pulled this off while we were live recording pole position, if I'm not mistaken. So good on Diaz. We talked about Dak a lot on that show, Gabe, and one of the things we talked about too was Tua and Dak. That seems to be like the main pivot point on Dynasty Daddy's trade database.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, knowing you and knowing what you've told me on this show, and also knowing that one of these quarterbacks is going to be playing on Sunday, I'm assuming you're taking Tua for Dak in a 16-team Superflex Start 11 league.
16 team, holy moly! Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even before Tua got injured, before Dak got injured, like coming into the season, they were probably neck and neck ranking wise, like as far as ADV goes, if you will. And so at this point, I mean, now again, we flipped the script. One's playing, one's not playing. I want to, and I do believe things will get better for Tua and the Dolphins here in the coming weeks.
Yeah, agreed. Dynasty Alex brings us some good trades, some good settings every week, and this week is no different. We have a 12-team PPR Superflex Best Ball. Start 14, Gabe. 12-by-14 Best Ball. 2.0 tight end premium. 0.25 point per carry. 4-point passing touchdowns for quarterbacks. You're not required to start a tight end. And the 201 is going, or the second is a 201, and the third will be late. So, sending away CJ Stroud, your boy, CJ Stroud, Steph Diggs, Wan'Dale Robinson, the 201, and a late 2025 third for cool Joe Burrow and Jaden Reed. Gabe, we just saw one of these quarterbacks light it up on Thursday Night Football. Continue. What wrist? All right. He is having a fantastic 2024 year. Yeah. Jaden Reed was actually used downfield last year. Love to see it. CJ Stroud is going to be fed to the wolves this Sunday night with no supporting cast. It sounds like no Nico, no Diggs, no Dell. Fire up those Dalton Schultz maybe, but it's going to be bell cow mixing season. Looking at this deal, Gabe, I mean, I definitely want Burrow over Stroud. I definitely want Reed over Diggs at this point with what we know, with one of them having both knees and one not. Does Wan'Dale Robinson, the 201 in a late third, close that gap enough for you in a 12-by-14 best ball league?
Man, we should have skipped this one. And I say that because I hate going against CJ, man, and the Texans.
We were never skipping this one. I need to hear you say it.
I think, and I know Ray and Jay Rich and a couple other people have said it. I think us being a little bullish on CJ, having him as quarterback 3-4 in Dynasty is probably a little bit too bullish on us, especially just after one season. And on the flip side of that, I think so many people gave up on Burrow so quickly, so he kind of fell back down a little bit. But just based on the production, man, this year, I'm taking probably Joe Burrow over CJ Stroud in the 201. So let's just say Jaden Reed for Stephon Diggs, Wan'Dale Robinson in a third, and to start 14. Like I'm cool with taking Joe Burrow and Jaden Reed and seeing where that lands me, because I do think that Joe Burrow gives you a much better chance at competing than CJ Stroud. I mean, I think in the Discord I saw today that somebody had made the comment about Tank Dell and Nico being out, and it's like, oh no, CJ's not going to get to his 10 fantasy points, and I'm like, the pain, but it's the truth too at the same time. So, you just give me Burrow and Jaden Reed, man. I mean, again, Diggs isn't playing. I don't know what you're going to do with third, and then Wandale, CJ in a second. I'll take the other side. I think that you get the two better producing assets at the respective positions.
Yeah. Like if I'm a CJ Stroud owner, I really don't see myself adding a first to get to Burrow. Right.
No,
But I think the 201 has a 2 in front of it. I think there's enough of a chance. Like that's probably top dollar. Right. Yeah. And so I'm fine making that pivot to Burrow from a CJ Stroud if I'm trying to win right now. Like you said, like it's just, I hope it gets better when Nico gets back for sure. If I'm just making a bet right now, though, it's going to be Burrow and what he's doing in that offense.
Yeah. The O-line's been terrible too for Houston. I mean, we're just in shambles. I think we're a fraudulent. I think we're 6-3 right now. I think we're a fraudulent 6-3 team right now. It pains me to say that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help when you have a guy like Diggs go down too, right? So, like I said, I'm happy moving off that 0 on Diggs, especially in best ball, right? Like get into a Jaden Reed. I can see what do we do? We're going to split Jaden Reed then into Mooney in a second or something like we can try to make an additional move with that Reed and really, space it out too if you want to play the best ball game. I don't mind sending the 5-for-2 deal if I'm sending Diggs a third and Wandale as part of that package to get into Burrow and Reed, right?
Yeah, I mean, and right now at this point, like again, we've seen so many trades with Diggs go down recently. I mean, he's being valued as like a 3rd round pick, which take that for what you will. Some people will agree, some people won't agree with it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you replace Diggs with a 3rd, I don't think it's close. I think people lean a little bit more like with the name cachet of Diggs, but the reality is his value right now is pretty much nothing. I mean, he's pretty much nothing. Pretty much.
I think we're going to talk some more best ball here, so we'll let that cool, but that's a good trade there, Alex. I don't want to talk more Hollywood Brown. I don't know about you, Gabe, but
it's
Hollywood Brown or Joe freaking Flacco. Come on.
It's Joe Flacco, guys.
Even on a rebuilding team, just give me Flacco. I can trade that. I don't need to carry that hope into next season. Again,
I can get a third for Joe Flacco. I can't get a third for Hollywood Brown. No, please. So again, ask your doctor if Hope Zempic is right for you. Diaz, I'm sorry, Diaz. We've broken down a couple of your deals already. I'm not getting into a 3 seconds and some everything for some veterans, but I see what you're doing and I like what you're doing. Tillman for a second. Gabe, he's a starting receiver the rest of the year with what we know, right? Yeah.
Just give me Tillman. Yeah, sure.
And it's a 1 QB league. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Even more so just.
In an 8-team start 9 league, is Tillman gonna enter my lineup? Maybe not.
Hey, with the way injuries are playing out, he just might.
He just might, Gabe. So do it with a plan. But I'm happy to pay that price to get into Tillman. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, Gabe. A 12-team Superflex start 10, 1.75 tight end premium with a 0.2 point per carry. G Sender is getting into Ricky Pearsall, Jermaine Burton, 25 first, the team he's trading with. And it looks like they're getting back their own 2025 second. And they're sending away Jahmyr Gibbs. How do you feel on this one in a 12 by 10 Superflex?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, so we were just kind of talking, right, in a lineup league. I know we were just talking about the start or the 8-team start 9, I think it was. Jermaine Burton and Ricky Pearsall are guys you're never going to start. I mean, at least you hope to never start them in a start 10. Because again, most of the time in these leagues, you're just going to want the hammers. Start 10, it's not really getting to the point where you need depth, but it's kind of right on that cusp a little bit more. So Jermaine Burton and Ricky Pearsall for me, again, you're not guys you want to start. 0.25 point per carry as well just gives Jahmyr Gibbs that little extra juice. If I need a running back, I know we're usually hesitant to pay first for running backs, but Jahmyr Gibbs is one of those that I'm comfortable paying a first plus for. And so if you're telling me that I can pay a first, a second, and then just a couple dart Hope Zempic over here receivers, I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs in this situation.
Yeah, definitely. Like, again, you're getting a first for a running back. So, like, in that context, like, that's great. You're getting a plus on top of that. Like, cool. Like, you're not going to leave this unhappy. But I've said it for some time. Like, I think in the offseason I was even saying this was running back market. It's not depressed. It's just concentrated, right? And there's a select few running backs that I want to spend a first on. And those ones are the ones at the very top. And even with a David Montgomery, the knuckles to his Sonic, Gibbs is still a top 10 running back and has these weeks where he has running back one upside. So he's one of those guys I'm happy to spend a first to get into. And like I said, T Metzger 5405 sending their own first. Looks like they're sending the second away, which again, if G Sender can take this thing to the bottom and make that 201, that's great for them, and that increases the value of this trade for them. But Jermaine Burton, Ricky Pearsall, 12 by 10, it just doesn't move the needle for me. Like I said, it's a dart throw. Yeah. It's a taxi stash until proven otherwise. Like, hopefully Pearsall can find some work here with Aiyuk gone, but I'm just going to assume that's going to be CMC's work. So,
well, and Jermaine Burton, I mean, I think he saw 6 targets yesterday, but they were. I think he had 1 catch for a couple of yards. Like, it literally is just a hope and pray whenever. And so you're not wanting to actively play a guy like Jermaine Burton.
Dude, that guy just in the knucklehead category for me at this point. Like, I don't know. If you want him if you're in a league with me and you want Jermaine Burton, please come. We can definitely find a deal. Give me Gibbs.
Throw him some fab at this point.
Please. Like I said, give me Gibbs. But I don't mind the return there, especially if you're a rebuilder and you can take that second, all the way up. Okay. At Dynasty, Alex, bruv. Okay. Sending away Brandon Aiyuk, Chris Olave, and JT Sanders for TJ Hawkinson, Jaden Reed, and a 2025 second. No context. I already want the Hawkinson side. I know Olave still has, some play here. Maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't. He's getting some specialist involvement and family involvement. So hopefully all the best for Olave.
Yep.
Aiyuk, again, not going to play. JT Sanders, been awesome. But again, a 12-team PPR, best ball, start 12, start 2 tight ends with a 1.25 tight end premium. So if my math's correct, that's 2.25, start 2 tight ends.
Yep.
And with a 0.25 point per carry just in there as well, right? And that second is the 201. You're giving me Hawkinson, Reed in the 201 for Aiyuk, Olave, and JT Sanders.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
I'm letting that thing play all the way out, Gabe. Come on.
Man. Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree where you're headed. I definitely don't disagree with that. I think I'll give Shane Joe a little bit of credit here, because I do think there is a world where next year Olave, Brandon Aiyuk, and I don't know about JT Sanders, but specifically the 2 wide receivers at the top could outproduce the other 2 on the other side next year. But right now, I mean, yeah, I want TJ Hawkinson and Jaden Reed and the 201 for sure. Because what you can do with that 201 right now, especially in a best ball format, it's not that close for me. But again, I can't fault him. At least he got into some good assets for next year.
Yeah. Yeah, like I love Shane, and I mean I've seen him make some great deals on here too. But like if I'm doing math here, Reed for Olave, just the way I dynasty with like best ball, like that's a cross off for me at this point. Like I'll take Reed.
Yeah, I agree.
And a start 2 tight end 2.25 tight end premium. I'm taking Hawkinson over Aiyuk with ease.
What about
and even
Aiyuk
in that
and JT Sanders?
Yeah, I'll still take Hawkinson. Like I love JT Sanders, but I'm not putting that much oomph on his name. Like, I mean, Gabe, in this format, 201 or JT Sanders?
Oh, the 201 for sure.
So, like I said, I just don't see where any part on that side wins right now. But like I said, 2025, could be the play, but it's not really where I'm at in my dynasty headspace at this point in the survive and thrive and just roll over and just get through a week mentality we have at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like I said, I mean, I think this is a nice package potentially for next year, but what you can do with assets on Plank Crew's side versus Shane Joe's side right now, you can get a lot more value for your return right now with TJ Hawkinson and Jaden Reed and a 201.
Yeah, definitely. All right, 10 team start 11 super flex. There's no tight end premium and no tight ends involved. We got a bunch of team stuff here, but I'm just going to get into it, Gabe. Scardy, 94, our boy, get into DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Evans. They're sending away Deshaun Watson, Chris Olave, Jermaine Burton, and a 2026 third. So it's the Dak show, it's the Burton show, it's the Olave show.
All the injured guys, except for Jermaine Burton.
Man,
He's the troubled one.
Gabe, like
Mike Evans or Olave?
Mike Evans.
Easily.
Like
Yeah.
I don't see the upside in the Saints offense in 2024. I don't see Olave being confident in Olave at all. He hasn't shown me anything this year. And it just seems like I need to wait and hope and pray for the situation to figure itself out. And I just don't want to play into that hopium. I don't want to wait on that. And yes, Mike Evans is currently not playing.
Correct.
But when he is down the stretch, guess who I'm going to want? Mike freaking Evans. I mean, Gabe, legitimately, if I saw Mike Evans for Chris Olave, Jermaine Burton, and a third, I get it. I get it. Right. And again, you're giving me DeAndre Hopkins on top of that. Yeah, you could have that Deshaun Watson. Like I was probably thinking about dropping him anyway. So I want Mike Evans and DeAndre Hopkins here.
Yeah, I'll give a little bit of context too. I mean, in a 10-team, Deshaun Watson, I mean, he's nothing. Literally, he's nothing.
Literally nothing.
You will never play him unless he comes back and is the Deshaun Watson of the past. But even if he were to start, I don't think he's a guy that you're actively starting. And so for that reason, I mean, he's nothing for me in this trade. Jermaine Burton, we've already talked about him a couple times. In a 10 team, I don't even know how many starters, and I really don't care, to be completely honest with you. He's kind of nothing too. So really, like, I feel like Ray talked about it sometimes, but there's a lot of noise in this deal. There's a lot of noise in this deal with just maybe some name cachet, if you will, because Jermaine Burton was a nice guy coming out of college. You wanted him in your rookie drafts, and then Deshaun Watson has a little bit of name cachet too. I think really this deal is Chris Olave and a third for DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Evans. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I want Mike Evans and DeAndre Hopkins pretty easily, especially after what I just saw from DeAndre Hopkins with Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, he looks so good.
I mean, hey, as a Texans fan, I love to see it. I love to see Nuke out there just completely obliterating teams right now with Patrick Mahomes. So I'm here for that for sure.
I'm sure you don't want him back in Texas. So I got you.
Oh, I mean, I do, especially now that Diggs is gone. I definitely would love him back.
Do you want to talk some more Olave?
Let's do it. Why not?
Our boy T. Sanford has a 12-team start 11 best ball with 30-man rosters, 6-point passing touchdown, PPR, 2.0 tight end premium, big plays for big days. The team is currently 14-4 in fourth, with 2 games separating the second and fourth. They play the third this week, and this trade breaks the Dak and CD stack. So again, Gabe, we're in a point in Dynasty where we're talking about, I am playing this team this week and I'm making this trade with that in mind. So we are in a what are you doing for me right now mentality, and a 12 by 11 best ball. Dak Prescott and Chris Olave, or Kyler Murray and J.K. Dobbins.
I mean, dude, this is well done, Terrell. Yeah. Well done, man. I mean, I want Kyler easily over Dak Prescott. And this is before the injury. Now you're adding the injury on top of it. Easily over Dak Prescott. And J.K. Dobbins has been very nice for the Chargers. Very, very nice. I think this one's kind of more of a toss-up for me. I feel like I lean a little bit more on the Olave side slightly, just because I'd rather build around a wide receiver than a running back. But the reality is that delta does not make up the difference between Kyler and Dak Prescott. I mean, if we just saw Dak Prescott get traded for Sam Darnold, and we chose Sam Darnold over Dak Prescott, I mean, that just tells you where Dak Prescott's value is right now.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've seen on this show, we've seen in the Discord, like, Olave still has some weight behind his name. People still buy into that hope, right? So, yeah, like I'm fine giving the edge to Olave over Dobbins, but you're right. Dobbins has been smashing. And where we're at right now, give me Kyler over Dak. So I like this for you, T.
Yeah, this is a good deal, man. This is a really good deal.
Just get rid of some headaches. Just send them away.
And I'm okay with breaking up the stack too at this point. I mean, it looks like it's a competitive league, especially if he's 14-4 and in fourth place right now. Obviously, it looks like a very competitive league. You need all the points, man, that you can get. You're giving up two guys that are not even playing right anytime soon. I mean, Olave could be back in the coming weeks, but the reality is that what does that mean whenever he does get back? Just give me the two guys that are playing. And again, I wanted Kyler before Dak got injured over him, and then that delta does not get made up by Chris Olave from Dobbins.
Right. And speaking of CeeDee Lamb, he was moved in a trade by Johnny here in a 12/11 Superflex PPR 1.5 tight end premium with 6-point passing touchdowns. So basically, we're swapping CD for Amon-Ra here. So Smith Cole 221 got into CeeDee Lamb, a 2025 first and a 2025 third. That 2025 first, does we have any context here on it? The first belongs to the team currently in sixth, and it's 2 games ahead of the last playoff spot. Okay. So basically, playoff first, but could be a mid to late first kind of pick.
Yeah, first round exit maybe.
Right. So, and they're getting into Terry McLaurin, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and a non-playoff 2025 second. Johnny, I'm going to tell you this right now. Well done. Well done. I love CD. I love first. And if you told me to have CeeDee Lamb and a first on one side of the deal, I'll tell you you're crazy for wanting the other side. But you're getting me into Amon-Ra St. Brown, which with the situation we know in Dallas right now, that's an easy enough cross off for me. Like, I don't really care how much dynasty value you want to assign to CD there. Just give me Amon-Ra. You can take CD. I'm okay with that swap. And then you're giving me Terry McLaurin and a playoff second for a first and a third. I'll just take Terry McLaurin and be happy,
Yep. Seems like a free second at this point because I think I'm right there with you. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, love him. Amon-Ra, I love him too. I don't know if I trust Cooper Rush or everybody's favorite first round pick, Trey Lance. to get CeeDee Lamb the ball.
Womp, 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 womp.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was bought into Trey Lance, so I'm just taking a dig here for a second. But I don't know if I trust Trey Lance or Cooper Rush to get CeeDee Lamb the ball. And so I think 1 for 1, I would take Amon-Ra over CeeDee Lamb. They're almost in the same tier, if not in the same tier for me. So at this point, just cross them off. Give me the guy who's actually got his starting quarterback. And the Lions are just incredible too, man. I mean, it's such a good football team. And then, I think depending on the team, I would be comfortable sending a first and a third for Terry McLaurin if that gets done. So again, I think it's almost a free second at this point, just for the sake of making the deal. I want Johnny's side for sure.
Yeah. And I agree, on a certain team, I don't want to spend a first plus if I don't have to for a McLaurin, but from what he's shown, that what the bet is, that's what the cost is going to be. And let's not forget, Amon-Ra has had not the fantasy breaking season that, maybe we hoped. Right. And if you're not Gibbs or Monty, you sure as hell don't want to be Laporta, but it's been a bit of the Lions just win by so much that maybe we haven't seen the work. And thank God Amon-Ra gets a couple close end zone touchdowns, right, to save his day. So it's not like he's been the smashing asset. So I don't mind getting into CD for an Amon-Ra. If I'm on a certain team, I want to make that bet. I'm fine taking CD there. But then it's just, I love Terry McLaurin. You should, if you're on this channel, you should know I love Terry McLaurin. So if
you were rebuilding though, would you take the other side? I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Again, you don't need the points. Would you be comfortable or okay sending away Terry for potentially a playoff first? Could fall out. I mean, you never know, right? The way that the landscape kind of holds. Are you okay with making this deal on the inverse side?
I think it really depends on how active the league is. If I know that I can go and make a subsequent deal with McLaurin, I still get a non-playoff second. So as far as the echelon of seconds go, I can hopefully rely on that actually being an impactful pick. If it was a playoff second, then we're out of that range. Yeah, I mean, you're still getting into Amon-Ra at that point, which again, you just get into a stable asset. So I think I'd still make the deal, but I would be way more okay with CD and a first in a rebuilding context. But again, if this is a low activity league, then I like it even more. But if I think I can go out and move McLaurin and that second in another deal if I need to, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, I'm just playing devil's advocate here to see, because I mean, I don't think it was. I think it was a very good deal, and I want Johnny's side. I want that to just be known. But I don't think Smith Cole over here it was a terrible trade on his part. I do think that there is a world where, that first could be nice. It could just fall out of the playoff side, and now you're looking at a mid first for Terry McLaurin, and I think that changes the story a little bit. I don't know a lot of people who are wanting to pay a potentially earlier to mid first for Terry McLaurin right now.
Right. And again, Gabe, we are so far out of this season, but 108 or Terry McLaurin.
I mean, do I need points? Because if I do, give me Terry McLaurin. Yeah.
That's probably
but if it's 106, 106 though.
Well, if it's playoff, yeah, right. So
106. Now you're looking at it a little differently. I don't know if I want Terry McLaurin over the 106.
No, I probably don't. And if I have that pick, I'm probably not moving it. Right. So, yep. No, it's about what the cost is. But no, I agree. So that's like Smith. If you're rebuilding, I like that for you. Right. And, if you're John Robbins, I love that for you. If you're competing, this is just a good deal. And this is what we look for.
Yeah. Picking the directions.
Okay. So we wanted Kyler over Dak. How about Kyler, a 27 first, a 26 second, and Michael Wilson for Lamar Jackson in a 12-team start 10 Superflex league?
He says receiving Lamar and D-Hop.
There's another deal down here too. So I don't know. I don't know if this is the same sleeper team, but yeah, they got into Hopkins for a 25 second.
Dude.
Well, let's break this one down really quick, Gabe. What do you want, a 25 second or DeAndre Hopkins right now?
Man,
crazy.
He's. I know, dude. It's crazy because a couple of months ago, this would not have been even close. Just give me DeAndre Hopkins, man. I'll figure it out. I can replace that second if he's gonna keep producing. And I think I have a little bit of recency bias with the amount of production that he just had this past week. But if this is a sign of things to come, take the second, man. On the flip side, though, if I'm a rebuilding team, though, I'm okay to take it. I'm okay to give DeAndre Hopkins for a second. So I think this is a fair one either way. But in a vacuum, just give me DeAndre Hopkins and I'll figure it out.
Yeah. If he starts once, you can eat that cost. If he starts twice for you, happy to pay the second.
You've already made money on it. Yep.
Exactly. So, yep. And now let's go back to the big one. So Kyler, a 27 first, a 26 second, and Michael Wilson for Lamar Jackson. 27 first. I moved to 27 first. Or no, I acquired a 27 first in a league, Gabe. It felt gross. I was like, well, is the league even going to be here at this point?
Who's even in the 27 draft class?
You. I don't know. Maybe LeBron has a kid in the draft. I couldn't tell you. You get the Kyler Wilson stack, 27 first and second. But it's Lamar Jackson, man. I don't. Are you if this is a 25 first?
That's different. I'll take Kyler.
Yeah.
I'll take Kyler in a 25 first.
The 26 first, you add in the extra change, we'll get it done. Just a 27 first. Is this a blind spot for us? Are we discounting the value of what that first will be eventually?
Absolutely. I can answer that for you. We're absolutely discounting it, but it's 3 years away, man. 3 years away. So many things in the dynasty landscape can change in 3 years. You can actively go and get 27 first. I guarantee you right now, there's a contending team in your league somewhere that doesn't have any 25 or 26 first anymore. they don't care about the 27 first. They'll happily throw it into a deal for you because again, it's so far out of their mind. Like it's a whatever, it's literally whatever. And so I agree. Just the way that Lamar Jackson has been playing, I mean, just freaking incredible, dude. Incredible. Doesn't feel great, but I'll take Lamar Jackson. I'll take Lamar Jackson over Kyler in a 27 first and a 26 second and Michael Wilson. To your point, though, if this was the 25 first, I want Kyler in the 25 first. 26 first gets a little bit closer for me. I think I would take the 26 first, but 27, I mean, I just don't even care about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how they got here. So, like I said, the deal is obviously swapping Lamar for Kyler. They know the first is the value. This team probably traded away their 25 first, probably traded away that 26 first. Now, all they have is that 27 first. And the team getting Lamar Jackson, like, listen, I can't do that. What else can you give me? So Michael Wilson, a 26 second. Okay, let's get it done. So I get it from both sides. I don't mind getting a 4-for-1 for Lamar, right? And just splitting them up. But I think if I'm a top 4 team in the league making a push, this is easy Lamar Jackson for me.
Yeah, I mean, if Lamar Jackson's going to be around in 2027, probably still going to be very, very, very good in 2027. So you're not really, just give me Lamar.
Yeah, and you got
give me Lamar, give me DeAndre Hopkins. Let me go win a championship and call it a day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And T. Sanford's back in a 12-team start 11 best ball. Just gets into Darnell Mooney, who he calls the most underrated wide receiver in Dynasty. All he had to do was send away that Jalen Wright in a 25 third. Gabe?
Terrell, just come on, man.
You know what you did.
Yeah. You know what you did, exactly.
He talked about Diggs and a third. Yeah. Oh, sorry. He sent Diggs and a third, and that was his counter. So.
Yeah, M. Buckarama. DD Fantasy Football on Discord, my brother.
Yeah. Use code TRADES. Trade GOAT will get you in here. We got you, buddy.
Yeah.
Speaking of running backs that we would pay a first for, Gabe. 12 teams, start 9. Superflex lineup. 0.5 PPR. They have Kyron, they have B-Rob, they have Spears, and they have Bucky. They're getting to Joe Mixon, sending away their 25 first and a 2025 third. We're going to our resident Houston Texans correspondent, Gabriel Garcia. Gabe, are you with us?
Barely, but yes.
Joe Mixon or a 25 first and third.
Ty. Dude, I don't know. It should probably be Mixon if I'm being completely honest with you. I just don't think Joe Mixon is one of those guys that I want to pay a first for, man. I really don't. I've talked about it before on the show, guys, and at the end of the day, like it is still a dynasty league, and I know we play in smaller windows now than what we did before, but the reality is that, knock on wood over here, anything happens to Joe Mixon, he's dirt. I mean, quite literally, he is dirt. He's got enough, Pistol Pete. He's got enough at running back. I don't think he needed to make this move. Again, I don't know what the rest of his roster looks like or, whatever, but Kyron, B-Rob, probably it's fine. Like, that is good enough. Even if you need, Bucky, sure. I don't know that. I don't think, man, I want to pay a first for Joe Mixon, but that's probably the price tag. If I'm being completely honest with you, man, I don't know anybody who probably would move him for any less. I just don't think I want to be the person to pay that. I don't want to get caught holding a bag with Joe Mixon, even despite being the Texans homer that I am. And he's probably going to get fed this week, and he's probably going to score 5,000 points this week with everybody out. But the reality is that I'm okay with missing out on that. Yeah.
It's just such a tough ask, like Joe Mixon for a first, like mathematically, and with where we're at right now, he should be worth a first, definitely, right? And a third shouldn't stop a deal from going through. It really should, end of the day. But yeah, if I have Kyron, if I have B-Rob, if I have Spears, and I have Bucky, yes, you can flex some of these guys, but I feel like acquiring Joe Mixon almost makes the rest of those guys more worthless, more of a headache than they would already be in a 12-team start 9. And I feel like if I have Kyron, I have the running back 1 box checked already. If I have B-Rob, that feels like a pretty great RB2 to roll out weekly. Yes, he's not going out this week. And if you're playing the what do I need to do right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'd just roll Bucky and hold on to my first and third and maybe find a better way to spend that, or hell, like what can I add that first to B-Rob? How high can I climb the ladder then? Like, you know, it just depends what you want to do with your roster. I think I'm just going to take the first and third here though. And just, I can figure out running back probably in a cheaper manner. But I mean, if I have Mixon, I probably just want a first. It's probably the price.
I think though, what can you do with Bucky? I mean, I think Bucky's got enough name cachet that you can probably move him for something better. You know, if you have something else, you can probably take your Bucky plus something and get Joe Mixon, or you can, you know, like I felt like there probably was a different way to kind of spin this deal to still achieve the same thing without having to give up your first. Like if you had your second, Bucky and a second for Joe Mixon, I'm pretty sure that's probably close enough for the owner. You know, I just, Pistol Pete, I don't think you made the wrong decision, man. And I want to make sure that you know that. I think this is, again, if you feel like this is what your team needed, by all means, it's a good deal. And this is probably the price you have to pay. I personally just don't want to be the one to pay a first for Joe Mixon right now. Just wanting to de-risk myself a little bit is kind of where I'm at. Yeah, it's so funny. The Bucky in a second for Mixon, exactly where my head went to. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, that face right
emojis.
There. Yeah, that's probably that's exactly how I feel. Yeah,
honestly, that is exactly how I feel too. Like it's like it's there, but I don't know if I want it there.
Yeah. Gabe, we've talked a lot of Jaden Reed on this show already. 14 teams start 12 Superflex. We got a 2026 first and Marshawn Lloyd. Haven't seen that name in a hot minute for Jaden Reed. 14 by 12, pretty deep. And a 26 first has a bit of that layaway value. Are you sending away Lloyd and a 26 first for Jaden Reed?
I think this is just dependent on what my team needs. I don't think I want to do this. But again, if you feel like this is what you need, it's fine. I feel like I'd rather hold on to the 26 first. I don't think Marshawn Lloyd is anything right now, but you know, again, you never know. Yeah. I don't know that I want to pay for a first for Jaden Reed, man. I know that he's been good. He's had his games, but he's just been so inconsistent too. Like it's just a lot of inconsistencies. Green Bay has a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. It's Dobbs one week, it's Watson one week, it's Reed one week, it's Tucker Kraft. Like I just don't know, and I just don't know if that's where I really want to park my first is in Jaden Reed.
I mean, if they're throwing Jaden Reed the ball downfield, sure, I want Jaden Reed. And if I have Jaden Reed, I'm probably not moving him for less than a first, or if I'm adding him to a deal, I have about that first valuation. So, you know, Marshawn Lloyd shouldn't hold up a deal, and a 26 first is probably you know, that's probably a way that it gets done. But I think I'm with you. Is just, I don't know. There's just certain things I don't want to spend a liquid first on just to buy outright.
Yeah,
and it just feels like with Jaden Reed, you just don't know what kind of echelon you're buying into at this point. But
yeah, if it's a best ball league, maybe it's a different conversation because then I take only the spike weeks. Right, we talk about war and different things like that, where you know you're not having to assume the down weeks, the negative war, if you will, that he is going to give you, because there's going to be weeks where he doesn't produce for you from a fantasy perspective. But if it's a best ball league, maybe it's a little bit different. But in a lineup league, he's just not a guy that I want to plug and play, and just like he's more of a guy that you're hoping for week in and week out. And so again, I don't think it's a bad price. I just wouldn't want to give up my first. And what I'll tell you, Ty, is one thing that I've noticed, man, over the past couple of really months, maybe last year or so, people are really stingy sometimes, man, with moving picks. Like of course you have your guys that are just like, whatever, like I don't care about those picks, right? But overall, I feel like in the dynasty space, just the community sees what these firsts can become. Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and all these different types of players. And people have become very stingy, if you will, on moving some of these picks. And so, like, this is just not the type of deal that I want to make.
Yeah. And all the time, like the high end assets, the 4+ first assets, those are all coming in too. While the toughness to move a pick is moving outward. So it's just a very interesting spot. And like I said, if I have a first, I feel like I want to aim as high as I can if I'm adding it into a deal outright. Now, I will say this, Gabe. If you feel like you can move Reed for a first amount of value, and you feel like a Reed gets you closer to that deal than your 26 first does, while you're giving away a lot of like your insurance policy in that sense, if you have like a subsequent move thought out, or at least a path of attack, are you more okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think it's a bad deal, right? Again, I think if you change the context on me a little bit, I can definitely see where this kind of comes into play. Again, best ball specifically is really the first one that kind of came to my mind. But to your point, in that context too, like if I have a plan in place, where maybe I can get something else, or maybe I can do something else with Jaden Reed later on down the line, like it's fine. It's fine. Literally, the emoji that we just saw on the last deal is kind of how I feel about this one as well. It's like, yeah, that face right there. Whoever put that face, shout out to you, because that's how I have felt about the last two trades.
Excellent. Oh, Diaz,
man.
Garendo and Kendre Miller being sent away for Kareem Hunt. As someone who is recovering from a fractured ankle still, I'm actually on 2 feet now, so yay. I'm not expecting Pacheco to come out and just go full go, right? And Hunt's carved out some kind of role in this offense. I feel like I said that about Puka, and that kind of bit me in the ass. So I'm not going to say that about CMC, that he's going to need a ramp up, but I do feel like Pacheco might, take a little bit to get warmed up. You're still going to get at least a start out of Kareem Hunt. I'm willing to spend Garendo and Kendre Miller to get a start.
You heard it here first, folks. Do the opposite of what Ty says, because he was wrong about Puka. No, but seriously, I mean, I don't think Pacheco is expected back this week or next week. I don't think so. I mean, if you're getting a week or two out of Kareem Hunt for Garendo and Kendre Miller, take it, run with it, because I mean, he's going to get the production. He's going to be very, very good for fantasy, and that's cool.
Yep. Ooh. Oh, Gabe, basketball 12 team start 10. Superflex PPR.
Don't do this to me.
Darnell Mooney in a 25 third, or Chris Olave in a 25 fourth, my friend.
I hate this.
I can't believe we're here. I cannot believe we're here, man.
Dude. Oh my God. You said that. What would this deal have looked like, Ty, in the offseason, man? When Darnell Mooney was just absolutely nothing.
Oh God, Chris Olave, top 12 wide receiver, like. Man, how far we've fallen. And here's the thing. Chris Olave could play as early as next week, right? It's going to be in the Saints offense, but he could. And that hopium, those beans, they're still fermenting. They're still there. But I mean, T. Sanford said it best. Like, Mooney is like probably the most underrated wide receiver in Dynasty. So how much? It feels like you're paying the full Mooney price here, though.
I think I agree with you. You're paying the full. I mean, dude, it's gross. I don't love it. I love what Mooney has done, and I don't want to discredit that by any stretch, man. But do you feel like at this moment you can do more with Chris Olave or with Darnell Mooney? Just from a pure name value, like who do you feel like you can do more with realistically?
The deals we've seen today, the deals I've seen on Dynasty Daddy. I mean, we talked about this on pole position too, right? Like. Yeah, I think I can do more with Chris Olave. If I can find a way to get into Mooney plus, I'm definitely here for it. But I mean, a third and fourth swap, that's not, it doesn't give a lot of gravitas, does it?
No, it doesn't. And that's kind of where I keep going back. Like, I just do, I guess for me, I know he says 26-man rosters can't take a zero. He's a contender. I get it. And Darnell Mooney, probably week to week, man, is going to enter your starting lineup. Like, he is good. He is very, very good.
Very good.
you know what, man? Just give me Darnell Mooney in the third. I'm not going to sit here and overthink it. I'm not going to sit here and overthink it. I was talking myself into Chris Olave and just what I could probably do with his name value. But the reality is that if I'm competing, just give me Mooney, give me a third. I can go buy a spot start quarterback or whatever if I need to with that third, and I'd call it a day. Yeah, it removes the headache for me, and I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't feel good though.
Doesn't feel great, but I think the point is this isn't the first deal we're sending out and accepting, and we're taking every step to make sure that this is the best price I can get. So I'm sending a deal out to everyone in my league, including that Olave. Just finding like a range of players. Think about something I want to accomplish with that Olave with my lineup. Like I said, for Diaz, he's looking to get off a 0 as a contender, 26-man roster, so he can't mess around. Get me into another wide receiver and see if I can get a pick upgrade. Okay. So I'd send that around, every part of that kind of flat tier of wide receiver we're playing in. Just send them all out, see what comes back. If this is the best deal you can get, let's do it. Sure. But I just want to make sure that I'm exhausting that Chris Olave market right now. And if I don't want to hold on to him, then this is what I'd have to do. So
do you know what Darnell Mooney is on the season, wide receiver wise? I just looked it up just for the sake of easing my mind over here after I just said that I would take Mooney and a third over Olave and a fourth.
He's a top 12 wide receiver, like production-wise, isn't he?
He is. He is actually number 12 on the year right now.
That's Ty Declare, the stats king. You know me, I'm big math guy, big numbers guy. So that was calculated. Wow. Wide receiver 12,
Trinity score. I mean, he's everything that you want right now. I mean, to Terrell's point, he probably is one of the most underrated. He's very attainable. And for the production that you're getting, it's probably pretty good. Yeah. Again, I don't love it, but I'll take Mooney in the third.
Yeah. Like I said, total season points does not translate to dynasty value, but
Correct.
We know what we're dealing with at this point. And so I'll just, like I said, it is a bottom dollar deal. I'll take Mooney. Hopefully I can find a better one, but happy to make it happen if I don't think I can do more with Olave.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna find one more. This is probably the one. Diaz, I'm not talking about Fab on this show. I'm sorry, buddy. We'll chop that up in VC.
Just get the Fab. Just give me the Fab over the fourth. I answered it for him.
Oh, good. A lot of Dak, a lot of names that I like. I wish we had another 2 hours really to talk this all out. But let's go with let's go with old Stiley here. We got a 4 for 3. Lineup, 12-team Superflex PPR contending roster. They're currently 7-2 in second place, so the second here should be late. We'll add some more team context. Gabe, remind me to come back to this. No other details. Okay. Stiley gets into Drake London, Drizzy Drake, Garrett Wilson, and Jamison Williams.
Holy moly.
Sends away wide receiver 13, I'm assuming still, and keep trade cut, Rashee Rice. Running back 12 or whatever, Jonathan Brooks, Maserati and or Mazda and or Mario Kart Marvin Harrison Jr., and that late 2025 second.
I think it's Mitsubishi Marv at this point, man.
Yeah, that's whatever M word you want to add to Marv. This is speaking of M word, I think this is a marvelous trade for Stiley here.
Dude, this is incredible, man. I mean, you're giving up a lot of names, and that's the reality of it. You're giving up a lot of names, a lot of people who really aren't producing for you. I mean, Jonathan Brooks just got elevated off the. I think he just started practicing. He just got activated from IR or from PUP or whatever he was on, and so he could play. I think maybe in the next week or two. So who knows? We'll see what that looks like, but. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Ty.
Garrett Wilson.
Easily?
No, not easily, but I'll just take Garrett Wilson. Like, for what he's given me right now and just kind of the tier of what I can do with that, just give me Garrett Wilson at this point.
Yeah, I think I don't. I would take Garrett Wilson also, yeah, over Marv. But
feels weird to say that.
It's just the production. Like, It's just from a pure production standpoint. I loved Garrett Wilson. Again, everybody liked him. Everybody had him as a top 3-4 wide receiver in Dynasty. And I know he'd kind of fallen off a little bit, but dude, it seems like with Adams there, we had kind of talked about it a little bit. He wouldn't be double covered all the time. It seems to be working out really well for Garrett Wilson right now in Green Bay or in in New York. Sorry.
Hey, everything up to the Green Bay part, like you did call that before. You said, hey, Garrett Wilson, I think he's going to be great. So you called that. But hey, if I'm a rebuilder and I'm trying to get points off my roster, a couple weeks ago. If I want to get those points off my roster, I'm happy getting into the Marv asset at a quote unquote buy low. Of what he was at the start of the year, right? Like it's probably a fair swap for directional teams.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this is really where Marvin Harrison and Garrett Wilson, you can cross those off. But then I think here's where the deal kind of goes a little bit south for me.
Little cattywampus.
Yeah, Drake London and Rashee Rice is Drake London. I'll answer that for you.
Yep.
Rashee Rice a second, Drake London. I'm still probably Drake London, but it's probably fair. I mean, again, if you're telling me it projects to be mid to late, I'll just give me Drake London. I think I could do more with Drake London. Plus, he's playing right now and producing pretty well for us. I know he just got injured, but again, I don't expect him to miss any significant time. And Jameson Williams for Jonathan Brooks.
If I know I can get the keep trade cut Jonathan Brooks price, I guess I'll take Brooks. But with the way that I'm constructing my teams and I'm playing, I'm taking Jameson Williams. Jonathan Brooks has the Canadian kid Chuba Hubbard in his grill for the next 4 years. So everyone's saying
that's true.
Yeah, everyone's saying "Oh Canada" for the boy Chuba Hubbard. Like I said, we talked about this in VC today, Gabe. It was like, at the start of the year, people thought Chuba was just going to go to dust as soon as Jonathan Brooks is ready to go. Yeah. And now it's, at best for Jonathan Brooks, a 50-50 split, right? Like that's kind of what reality is telling me at this point. So I don't think the cost of Jonathan Brooks, like if you can get the dynasty price for him, happy to move him away. Happy to get into Jameson Williams for that. Like I said, Rice in a late second for London. I think if I'm the Rice owner, I don't know if I'm adding much more to that to get into London, right? But I'm still going to lean London there. And then you're just giving me Garrett Wilson for Marvin Harrison. Yeah, I like what you did here, Stiley.
Yeah, I think it's a savvy deal, man. I really do. I'll give you credit. I think it's a very savvy deal because, again, I think you're moving a lot of guys with a lot of name value. And you're getting into guys that have great dynasty value as well, but are also very good producers that community is very high on. People love themselves some Jersey Drake, and people love themselves some Garrett Wilson. So, no, I think this is a really savvy deal. Again, you're contending. Give me all the points, and you got every single player that is producing. I mean, quite literally, I think your 3 players are outproducing the other side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not even. Yeah, just give me Garrett Wilson, Drake London, and J-Mo.
And Gabe, if you weren't sure, you're adding London, Wilson, and I guess J-Mo too, to Puka, Nico, Coleman, BTJ, Pop Douglas, Downs, and Cans, with Henry and Kyron and McBride. So I feel pretty good about that. Looks like he shopped around Marv. This is the best he could do, and this is a pretty good best. So good work. Way to work the market. Move into some big time assets there. Good work.
I need to take something out of the Stiley playbook and Madden curse over there with my Marvin Harrison share now.
Hey, might have to do that. All right, I want one more because I saw my boy. All right, Gabe. 12 team, start 12, Superflex PPR. Woo. It's like a best ball league. Dak Prescott and CD Lamb, that Dallas Cowboys stack that we were so craving and underdog and just had to get our hands on. Are you sending away the stack for Baker Mayfield and Swole Batman, A.J. Brown?
Guys, I don't know how else to say it, but I want very little part of Dak right now. I mean, quite literally, I want very, very little. I actually just moved Dak in Royal Rumble for Kirk Cousins. So, again, just to kind of give you some context. I want a starting quarterback. Baker Mayfield's been very good. Got Mike Evans coming back here soon, too. So, Just give me Baker Mayfield, AJ Brown. I mean, AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb are close enough to cross off for me. I think in a vacuum, you probably still want CeeDee Lamb slightly, but AJ Brown is that dude. So I'm cool to cross him off. And then again, I'll take Baker Mayfield over Dak right now.
Yep. No notes. Fully there with you. Like, what hasn't Baker done that like, what more could Baker do for you at this point? Like, give me Baker over Dak. I'm happy to cross off AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb. Just keep bloating up that exposure in Dynasty. Just keep giving me that AJ Brown, Gabe. Hey, we had another one. This is a fun one. Some good deals. A lot of Dak, a lot of Olave, a lot of directional deals. So
Jermaine Burton. Hey, don't forget about Jermaine Burton.
Hey, again, please come take him off me in Dynasty, everyone. Thank you. Gabe, where can the people find you on X? And again, just thanks for chatting with old Ty guy over here.
Yeah, man, anytime, brother. You know, I'm always here. So you guys can find me on X at iGabe_FF. And then again, in the Discord, I'm usually very, very active in the voice chat with these guys. And so we're sitting there always talking. And so make sure you jump into the tier, the Heisman tier, and talk some ball with us.
Absolutely. You can find me over on X at TyDeclare44. Go check out my pinned tweet if you want to get into the whole DD fantasy football community. Use code TRADE to sign up. Get 50% off at the all conference plus Discord level. Use code TRADEGOAT to get into the GOAT tier. Get access to everything, including the Trinity Tool, War Machine, the private pod feed, every single thing we have popping over here at DD. Otherwise, yeah, Underdog, use code ALLGAS, get up to 1,000 in bonus cash to sign up. Boy, oh boy, Gabe. This has been a fun week. We keep rolling, we keep going. The trade deadlines are coming up, people, okay? So I need you to keep sending in deals to the show. We can't be just talking about Diaz's deals all day. We love the guy. But please keep sending them in, join the community, talk with us. Let's go win some ships together. We out of this thing. Peace.